Lana. Manveer looks up and tries to dig that out.
Excellent header there by Preetham Kotal. Intercepting there nice and early, not allowing the ball to bounce. Taking matters into his own hands. As defenders, though, they're always told to never let the ball bounce. Always be the first one to get your head on it. Preetham Kotal certainly belongs to that old breed of defenders. No nonsense. But spent so many years playing for the Indian national team as well. There he is again.
Then Lana. Took a touch off Subhashish. A foul was given before that touch. Took it out for a throw-in.
Oh, you could see there Irfan Yadwad. He had eyes for the ball, but maybe a little more for Subhashish Bose over there.
Went into his back rather than shoulder to shoulder. That's why it was given.
Now the players as well are going to have to start factoring in for the stoppage of the ball on the pitch.
McLaren does well to get there first. Jitu has to turn, which he did. And Jiteshwar escapes Subhashish. Nicely being worked out of danger by Chennaiyin, confident on the ball. And possibly also responding to less shouting and screaming and criticism from the touchline, which they've become accustomed to for some time. Clifford Miranda, much more of a calmer presence.
Remember the shrieks in the bubble season, Pula? You could hear everything from the touchline over there. Told us a lot about the managers and their managerial style in the Indian Super League.
Always makes for good entertainment, good discussion.
You need that as well. You need characters on the touchline, Pula. Makes for great viewing, makes for plot lines, makes for a lot that the game needs.
I know it's a long way away. I absolutely cannot wait for the season to start. Bring all of these characters together again. Surely the same sentiment across Indian football is being felt at this point. A very important 10 days coming up.
What's also important, the Pula, is that the players stay focused on the here and now. They have a task at hand. They know that they have a minimum of 3 games in this tournament. It's just about owning the present and then seeing what the future brings.
Here's Farooq. Went down too easily according to the referee.
And the referee has a big job as well with the rain coming down, Pula, because you will see a lot more players calling for fouls, slipping, sliding. Makes the job tougher for the referee as well. Something that he will have to delegate for.
Great work from Dintuya. Just flying over Liston and getting his knee onto that. Get those wrong. See the wrong colour. Flashed out of the referee's pocket.
So you see Mohun Bagan trying to go route one once again. This time Alberto not finding a player in green and maroon.
Half an hour, only that one attempt that Vishal Kaith had to parry away. The attempt from Farooq.
If you're a Chennaiyin FC fan right now, Pula, are you happy with the first half an hour? 0-0, playing the champions of India in the Super Cup.
There are lots of positives. And probably the excitement is more about what's Clifford Miranda going to do with this squad. To look for a little feeler of what might be in store. It's still not the entire picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The first few pieces are in the right place in this first half an hour. That's an easy decision.
Clifford Miranda finds himself in the right place as well. Interestingly mentioned that he'd never planned to be a head coach in his career, but there he is leading Chennaiyin.
You don't really ignore a call from Derek Pereira in Indian football. Jiteshwar and Mandar once again on this, the same stutter. Jiteshwar sends it in. Needed more depth in that delivery. Mandar onto his stronger side. Once again, just the one body in the box. That's not enough. Not against the four of Bagan.
That was good pressure there initially from Manveer Singh, who tried to win the ball.
This could be a problem. And now Sal has a chance. Good slide. A slide which kept going and going. Thapa picks it up. Tried to set up Manveer. And has been put away from danger by Vignesh.
Had he shot over there, Anirudh Thapa should have taken his chance. Again, in these conditions, of course, he thought that the ball would roll easily to the on-rushing player, but
could be another shot from Sahal now. It was quickly blocked by Jiteshwar. We'll take a look at that sequence later on when it's not that urgent. But that's what can happen. One bad touch can undo all the good work.
And Sahal will know he should have done better on that occasion.
Thapa, tried to escape, and Vignesh will go into the book for this.
I mean, Vignesh is protesting, but that's as clear a foul as they come. Quilla. Thapa almost doing a cartwheel over there into the box.
Oh, that was a hard challenge from Vignesh.
Seems to have packed on a few pounds as well, Vignesh, of muscle. Clearly using that to his advantage. But in this case, maybe disadvantages for Chennaiyin as Liston Colasso looks at the ball and wonders what to do with it this time around.
Liston went for goal this time. Not too far.
And rightly so, Pulla. Just fizzing past the far post. Had that been on target though, could have tested Mohammad Nawaz. The skins are out for Liston as well.
Sahal, of course, still reliving that little passage of play.
He did open the scoring for Mohun Bagan Supergiant in the last campaign of the Super Cup with a clever little dink. If you remember that. That's the kind of finish that he is capable of.
A lot more expected of him as he matures. Not young anymore in terms of football experience as Dimlana sends this in. Headed away by Aldred. Picked up by Vignesh. Gets it back from Namte. Vignesh thinks about the shot. He takes a little touch and goes out. It's going to be a corner.
If you remember, Pulla, Vignesh has scored a goal like that for Mumbai City FC. On the volley, that one was from similar range. This time he had enough time and space to set himself up and to pick his corner. Wonder whether that was going to be on target. But now Chennaiyin have a corner. We know how good Mandar Rao Desai's left foot is.
It is Mandar. A good whip on that. Almost aiding Rodriguez into the clearance. It's still problematic. Big save from Vishal Kaith. As Jiteshwar's attempt was parried away and then Irfan could not keep it on target.
What a chance for Chennaiyin over there. And Vishal Kaith doing what all good keepers do, makes himself big, increases the surface area, and it's gone right at him. Anywhere to his left or right would have been 1-0 to Chennai. Cleared initially though by Albert Rodriguez, and then on the volley falls to Jiteshwar, and that's close.
Came off his face, it seemed. Here it is again. Boom, yeah, off his face. And then the follow through just off target, but massive chance for Jiteshwar. And in that excitement, can't even blame someone for not being able to keep it low, because the attempt is hit it as hard as possible.
That's why you wish, Topula, that composure would have come in. You see it far too often with few Indian players. They're in good positions. We saw the other day, Boris Singh getting that golden opportunity to make it 2-2 for FC Goa, and what a result that would have been. I could swear to God, the linesman, did he put his flag up or not for that? Well, jury's still out on that.
But it's also about which player is in that position. How many times does Jiteshwar find himself in that position during training or in game? As McLaren keeps finding himself in that position over and over again and makes it count. Liston won the ball, found McLaren, and a loose ball like that in that area, first time, he's not going to think twice, and that is automation in the mind. Excellent finish, 1-0 Mohun Bagan Supergiant.
Jamie McLaren doing what he does best on that occasion. Snapshot straight past the keeper. He's done it so many times throughout his career in Australia and in India, and this is going to be a big season for McLaren. He started his Super Cup campaign with a big goal. Clever little back heel by Liston Colasso. And Jamie McLaren on the first touch decides to not take an additional one over there, straight past Mohammad Nawaz. But could he have done better over there, Pula?
Impeccable technique. And you can ask that question, yes. As a follow-up, we always scrutinize the goalkeeper, but the strike and the assist, the weight on that back heel, very, very classy from Liston. Had to set up the striker. McLaren off the mark in the Super Cup.
And that's going to sting for Chennaiyin, because just a few seconds ago, they could have been the one taking the lead. But instead, it's McLaren who gives Mohun Bagan the lead.
It's just that quality. Who the chance falls to, at what point, in what position. But even if you forget all of that, just the technical brilliance that McLaren has in terms of striking the ball and keeping it low. And if you see that replay over and over again, you'll just stop at the follow-on to keep the ball low and keep it fizzing.
And for him to have the awareness to not use the side of his foot. Many players in that position would have tried to go to the far post, and McLaren decides to go straight through it. Perhaps that's what gave him the power on that occasion.
Just cut out before it could get to Liston. Subhashish.
And now we can see Mohun Bagan settle into the game a little bit. With that 1-0 lead. 6 minutes to go for half-time. It's just about keeping the ball now. At least for the next 6 minutes.
Irfan wants to accelerate. Got past Alberto Rodriguez, but not Aldred. Here's Jiteshwar looking to his right. Namte. Dinlana. Just too heavy from Jiteshwar.
Could Dinlana, beg your pardon, Namte over there, could he have just crossed a little earlier, Pula? He had numbers in the box.
Must hear Vishal Kaith screaming for Subhashish to come back into position. Vignesh getting out of a sticky situation.
Farooq again, clever turn, earns the foul. Vishal Kait instructing his line. Shouts of hold the line, hold the line. They're quite high up for this free kick.
Almost another problem as Pritham Kotal's pass stopped on the pitch due to the water.
What's the halftime conversation going to be like, Pula, in both camps?
Clifford Miranda is probably going to ask for the same. Let's create chances, we take them. So Mohun Bagan, it's all about controlling the proceedings. Found the first goal, half the job done. Teams simply unable to come back against Mohun Bagan. It's a rarity over the past season.
You say that, Pula. One of the teams that came back against Mohun Bagan Supergiant last season was indeed Chennaiyin FC.
Was that at the Marina Arena?
Was at the Salt Lake with Irfan Yadwad in the very last minute of the game, just putting the ball past Vishal Kait and then running into empty space.
You're right. Also takes something to silence the Salt Lake. It's something that both home and away teams will be missing when they take on the Kolkata clubs. Just broke for Jitu. Nicely cut out by Thapa. Play on, says the referee. Ball comes in towards Vishal Kait, who's kept it down, but what a clash of studs that was.
Big shouts over there, Pula, for the foul. Ooh. 50-50 that one. Namte had every right to continue the play though. Just a bit more to Vishal Kait's right and could have been tested on that occasion.
Jiteshwar has had a very busy first half.
Tidy little player, isn't he, Pula? Jiteshwar finds himself in these little pockets. He can hold as well as advance forward when needed.
Northeast United against Inter Kashi tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. It's a Group B kicks off in Bamboli. Flag goes up against Sahal.
Sahal finding himself in an advanced position on that occasion. He does seem to have that little bit of freedom to be a floater for this Mohun Bagan Supergiant side, Pula. And that's the kind of role that
he was on.
Clearly onside over there. Well, they won't be happy seeing the replay. The Sahal was clearly through on goal. Now, could that decision prove to be pivotal come the end of the game?
Just trying to find space on the right. Time and again. A minute has been added on. The ball just travelling more freely now on the pitch compared to about the first 25 minutes of the game. As you can see, Farooq with the roll of the studs. And the challenge came in. Thapa going in. A yellow card will come out. And Rodriguez has to be careful as well, getting into the face of the linesman.
You've been seeing that all game, Pula. Thapa and Farooq Chaudhary with that little skirmish on different parts of the pitch. And on this occasion, Thapa just goes in a little too strongly. Oh. Got the ball and the man.
That's why Mohun Bagan's players were upset at the decision. It's probably more about the way he went in. What a time to score this could be for Chennaiyin. I almost feel like they're in the lead if they get the equaliser here. Mandar, close to Vishalke. Cleared away by Rodriguez. Jitu can't control that.
Clifford Miranda there. Doesn't want to give the ball back too early.
Sahal clears. And that's the end of the first 45 at the Fatorda. Mohun Bagan super giant against Chennaiyin, who was swamped with rain in the first 25 minutes with just the one chance, but Jamie McLaren took his chance so well when it came from Liston's cheeky little back heel. Fantastic assist. Nawaz could probably have done a lot more, but so could have Chennaiyinn's attackers, with Farooq testing Vishal Kaith, and then Jiteshwar also having a chance. Vishal Kaith saving with his face and just showing once again why he is the Mariners' #1. But as the players think about all the big moments, some of which were taken and most which were not, at half-time it ends Mohun Bagan Super Giant 1, Chennaiyin 0, as we take a look and of course at the highlights. Set pieces were coming in the rain. That was a big way. Bagan's backline extremely busy.
Initially, you had a lot of pressure being put by the Chennaiyin FC attackers, Pula, but Mohun Bagan did a good job of absorbing that initially, and then they grew into the game. You saw attempts such as the one we're about to see right now by Liston. Good work there by Dinpuya. And then you saw this free kick. Could have been on target had that not been for the Mohun Bagan wall.
And that was a time when they were really putting on pressure on Mohun Bagan. It was a really good phase of play. It ended with this particular attempt from Farooq Chaudhry, Vishal Kaith. In fact, he must have been very glad he was tested before that big save a few moments later.
Always good for a keeper to get his hands warm, and this chance though by Sahal Abdul Samad, he would have wished that he did a better job of this. And then Thapa choosing to pass on this occasion. Could have taken a shot.
And then Lana with the recovery work after his pass was slightly short. Another big chance then for Chennaiyin. Jitu's ball was sent in. Nice little flick. And that's the big save. And Irfan Yarwad, he was under pressure, but he would have liked to keep that on target. And how about Liston's work? The control, the muscle, and then of course the mind play.
The muscle in particular, Pula. Good to see that from Liston. Normally he gets shrugged off the ball quite easily, but on this occasion shows his strength. Clever little back heel to Jamie McLaren, and again goes straight past Mohammad Nawaz though.
And all McLaren had to do was keep that on target. Nawaz will be disappointed he did not do more in trying to save that. And Chennaiyin continue to look for openings. It's been impressive, in fact, apart from that one goal that they've conceded. I still have to find a way past the dominating figure of Vishal Kaith as we take a look at the half-time stats. Chennaiyin with more shots, more on target as well. And Mohun Bagan Super Giant have quality. And when you have quality, you can go into the break in the lead with just one shot on target. So this is the story at half-time in Group A in the AIFF Super Cup 25-26. 45 more minutes coming up. As it stands, the Mariners lead Chennaiyin 1-0. Super Cup 2025-26. Live images from the Fatorda. It's been a rainy first 45 with Bagan taking the lead. And this was the wonderful work from Liston. Great ball from Thapa, but so difficult to control that. And then from then on, a little back heel and a fine finish from Jamie McLaren, keeping it low. And exactly the kind of finish you want to watch in these conditions.
Low and hard. But when Nawaz watches that back, he's not going to be happy with himself. Really not, because that's what keepers train for day in and day out, to show, to save those kind of low shots.
And some changes as well. Sahal Abdul Samad has been taken off for Suhail. Looks like McLaren just needs a little more help going forward, and Suhail in such good form, especially for the India under-23s. Been learning his trade alongside some top strikers like Jason Cummings, Petratos, McLaren himself. Big chance for him. We did ask Molina about younger players and how much time he can give them in just 3 games, but Suhail has done enough to warrant an entire half.
More than enough, Pula. And in an interview, McLaren himself was saying that ever since he's come into the team, Suhail has been chipping away at him constantly in his ear, asking him questions about what he can do better. And one of the biggest inputs that McLaren had for Suhail was that he should make more runs towards the near post as a striker. He didn't do enough of that. And we saw 2 finishes by him last season in the Super Cup, both assisted by Ashiq. Might have had something to do with what he was being told by Jamie McLaren over there.
And why not? You have players like that giving you advice. You've got to take it.
He's a really sharp finisher, Pula. We saw those 2 finishes against Indonesia under 23s. One from the right and one just on the spin in the box.
Into the box, almost immediately creating something for McLaren. How good was that?
And that's a new side to Suhail. Ahmed Bhatt, we've not seen him as a creator. But on this occasion, just tries to find Jamie McLaren in the box. Controls it. McLaren offering a good run over there. Had that just been in his path a little bit, could have been 2-0.
Good opportunity as well for Molina to try combinations up front. Now one of them seems to be Suhail and McLaren. He mentioned that he's already in his ear asking for a lot of advice. And strikers can't be shy, you know, talking to senior strikers in and around on the pitch. And sometimes it might take time for a teenager to come through and muster up the energy and the strength to speak with players like McLaren, but it seems like Suhail has already crossed that bridge. Free kick coming up for Chennaiyin meanwhile. And a yellow card as well. That was Alberto Rodriguez into the book.
Alberto just hampering the run of the Chennaiyin FC player over there. Not happy with that decision. I was just using my body ref, he says. Tejas Narkwekar thinks otherwise.
It's also for the constant arguments as well. Rodriguez, a very vocal player. And sometimes the challenge might be a little nothing, but keeps piling on. And that's why the referee, almost as a warning for general behavior, might show a yellow card.
Mandar has his hand up. Wonder what that's a sign for.
It is him. Oh, acrobatic effort! Just past the post. Wonder whether Farooq got a touch on that with the way he went up, or was it just a Mohun Bagan touch?
Chennaiyin have been doing that stop-start free kick whole game, Pula, and this time almost pays dividends.
Rodriguez's touch, taking it out for a corner.
And Mandar will deliver again.
Towards the near post this time. Manveer hitting his chest first. Suhail with a delightful little dink and asking Liston to sprint.
Oh, what pace by Liston.
And he never says no to a sprint. And Dinglana went in. Liston keeps it in play. And it was finally not. Corner coming up for the Mariners.
These are the moments, Pulla. These are the moments that Liston reminds us why coaches persist with him game after game, because he's capable of moments of brilliance such as these, which often might be worth more than everything else he does in the game.
He's already produced one magical moment with that assist. Asked to deliver by Thapa. Vignesh's clearance. Apuya's turn, flung himself down, and with the manner he went down, sometimes that can take a decision away. He's still clutching just under the knee. Let's take another look.
To see Pulla. We roll back to the replay. First, Apuya decides to not shoot. Shows he shoot, but oh, was there some contact over there, Pulla? I think that's a good decision by the ref over there. Apuya trying to maybe make the most of that, and then doesn't protest more after that either.
They did nutmeg Vignesh and ran into his feet in a way. So yes, there's contact. There's also a lot of things apart from just contact that might determine whether it's a penalty or not.
And then you could also see Vignesh had just withdrawn his tackle at the last moment. He didn't swing through completely. Might have saved him on that occasion.
Good to see referees keeping an eye on how it's all working out, as this one will surely go over.
And Nawaz knew well in advance that that was sailing over the crossbar. Usually sends that into orbit, but this time a poor kick out by Nawaz.
Has to pick himself up. He clearly thinks that he could have done more to save the first goal. Has to bury that into the back of his mind. Not just for the rest of this game, but for the rest of the tournament. Thapa. McLaren bent his run to perfection. Towards Manveer, who can't hook it back onto his right foot.
You saw Manveer, Sohail and the third attacker all in the box for Mohun Bagan Super Giant on that occasion. Might have something to do with the change in formation after Sahal's gone off.
Especially because Sohail will look to become a presence in the box. Sahal more of a floater in and around the penalty area.
I wonder though, Pulla, whether that was the plan all through. But the Sahal would play 45 and then Sohail would get 45 in the second half. You were talking about how Sohail deserves more minutes and he's done enough.
McLaren must have been tempted to go first time, surely, but the angle was too tight.
Tried to nutmeg Preetham Kotal over there. Might have if the pitch had helped him. And Mohun Bagan now can really play. The rain is completely stopped at the foot order. Oh, Irfan though, alert. Keeping Tommy Aldred and Rodriguez on their toes throughout the game. And you can expect that for 90 minutes from Irfan. There's one thing that he won't lack in his effort.
Just wondering about the width that Mohun Bagan Super Giant have from their fullbacks. Not much coming from Mehta. He's almost triple him up as a centre-back, if one can use that term. Because there are already two in the back line for them. Only Subhashish, we haven't seen him go forward too often. It's probably the danger of Irfan and his pace. It's keeping them all slightly withdrawn. Alberto Rodriguez has the freedom to step out of his comfort zone, of course.
Namte intercepts and Namte spreads. I think Chennai mounts something from this attack.
McLaren.
And as you mentioned, Pulla, Mehtab suddenly finds himself in the middle of the pitch after hugging the touchline. for most of the game.
Aldred. Suhail. Namte's pass intercepted by Thapa. Apuya into that gap, expertly finding McLaren, whose cross is dangerous. Chennaiyin happy that didn't fall to a darker jersey.
You can see Suhail occupying more of the rightmost position over the puller.
Liston with a drop of the shoulder. Took it past one, but there was help coming in from Dimlana. Suhail.
Liston on that occasion deciding to factor in for the ball being played behind him. Decides not to challenge for the ball, but Apuya spreads well.
Good solid challenge from Vignesh as well on McLaren, who's much more active and involved now with Suhail doing all the running around him.
Mohun Bagan pull up, playing with authority. Playing like they've been a side who's done this time and time again. Liston has beaten his man time and time again, but not on this occasion, as Dimlana does well. Chennai just can't get it out to a body outside. Falls to them on this occasion.
Just have to weather the storm, just like they did in the first half. That was more of a literal storm, this one more figurative.
Bandar showing some serious pace for someone who's 33.
Has to spread this quickly, Namte. Dimlana brings it down. Jitesh was there. He's looking for the 1-2. Jiteshwar turns back and sets up Namte, who can hit it from a distance, but angle and speed of the ball played into him, not favourable for that. Swung in with his weaker side. Irfan was holding on to Aldred. Clash of heads between the two of them, because it came onto that height. One was attacking it, the other defending it.
Irfan causing a nuisance over there for Tommy Aldred. It's tough to see who gets who on this occasion. Oh, it's a clash of heads, isn't it? Aldred wins the ball, but straight into Irfan Yadwad's temple.
Those hurt. Now he'll be hoping he's not been cut open. Of course, there'll be a concussion check as well, which is exactly what's happening with Aldred.
He's a hard man, Tommy Aldred. As hard as they come. Irfan Yadwad as well. Going. Playing for Chennaiyin FC. Let's hope he's okay.
There seems to be some ice and a quick check to see if his bearings are right. Players warming up. Clifford Miranda has sent out 6. Some young players in there, the likes of Vivek, Karthik. There's Rajak Ali as well. I did ask Clifford Miranda just after the interview about some of the young players he wants to bring in, some of the notable names who he has already seen and been impressed by, and he said all of them are good players like any other coach, but picked out a few from the hat and said that you might see these players get some game time.
Sola Malay as well, highly rated midfielder. Comes from the Chennaiyin Academy. That has to be the next phase, doesn't it, Pula? Players coming from ISL club academies, making the leap into the first team. Bodes well for the entire ecosystem. Wonder if we'll see a few faces today.
Farouk.
Oh,
Nicely
Farouk.
done.
Clever backheel Farouk. Irfan will chase again, as he has been chasing the entire game, and a cheeky little nudge to Tommy Aldred. He knew what he was doing over there. already. Does well to not respond to the Dennis the Menace-like menace that Irfan Yadwad is posing to be.
Farooq trying to turn his man, unable to shrug Mehtab off.
Always fascinates me, Pula, how players after debilitating knee injuries come back to full fitness. Farooq seems to be looking quite at ease on the pitch today. Irfan Yadwad as well at 20 had suffered a serious meniscus injury. His mother in fact had told him at that time that he can quit playing football. Doesn't need to, but it was his father who used to play in local Goan tournaments at that time who said that my son will play. 3 months later he's back on the pitch. Now a national team player.
A great story. And one which has only started, it seems. Needs to keep scoring goals though. Needs to keep being trusted by head coaches, whether it's national team or at club level.
Effort again by Irfan. And good to see him playing in his national position as centre forward.
Here's Jitu. Easy for Subhashish to deal with that. Now listen. Into the path of Subhashish. First time delivery towards McLaren. Cleared away by Preetham Kotal.
Bread and butter for Subhashish. Been doing that his whole career. From steps early.
Here's Apuya. Try to run back onto that. Good to see Apuya taking some advanced positions as well.
Yeah, clever little 1-2 attempted over there. McLaren just got a bit too much on the ball. Had that fallen into Apuya's path, we might have seen a shot coming off that.
Already over the top.
Mohun Bagan though, Pula, need to make this count. All this possession, all this dominance, still 1-0.
Very quick first 15 minutes of the second half, and it's also because the rain has stopped. The ball is travelling, the players are travelling faster, the conditions have become cooler. Two games every day, of course. This game a draw between East Bengal and Tempo on the opening day of the AIFF Super Cup. And tomorrow brings two more. Very exciting in Takashi. Once again in action to open it up, and then a home game at the Fatora. FC Goa against Jamshedpur. Stephen Dias is in charge of Jamshedpur. Khalid Jamil's eyes are now firmly set on the Indian national team. He's probably watching this as well with his hawk eyes.
And a replay of last season's Super Cup final as well, Pula. This utter dominance by Goa last season in the final. Well, Bora Herrera's scorcher from outside the box. I wonder what iteration of Jamshedpur will see this time around.
Chennaiyin have made the final once in the Super Cup. That was in 18-19. Lost against FC Goa. Apart from that, they've been knocked out of the group stage 3 times, twice in the round of 16. Mind you, last season did start off with the round of 16 for them.
Format, of course, changed. In fact, it's back to what it usually is this season. Last season was the anomaly.
Timlana.
This would be encouraging though for Chennai in Pula. Oh, neat little nutmeg there by Jiteshwar. The fact that it's still 1-0 only. They seem to be constructing a bit of an attack now. can be sure that he's sniffing around.
Timely warning. Nawaz just cleared it away. Chennaiyin wanted to keep the ball, and because when you lose possession, even though McLaren is offside and the flag is up, it's been ignored so far. The whistle is not gone. The flag was clearly up. Liston keeps playing and almost tried to set up a Puya, but the man in the middle may have overruled the decision or may not have seen it, which is quite surprising, because let's have a look at this again. When that ball was touched on, McLaren is offside.
You don't see that too often, Pula. Wonder what happened there. Because the linesman clearly puts his flag up. Tejas Nalvekar has seen him and has waved play on. That's a new one.
For those wondering if there's a buzzer connected with the flag and the main referee's watch, then even if they don't have that, they do have communication. They have earpieces, so they are communicating. And possibly Tejas Nalvekar has said it might have been a defensive action which might have led to that, because then it doesn't become offside. If it's a defensive action and the last touch is from a defensive play, then McLaren is not offside.
In which case then Tejas Nalvekar just decided to play it safe in case that resulted in anything.
Nice ball forward for Irfan. But once again, and this has been the failing of this particular shape for Chennaiyin. More than a failure, it's a lack of personnel to play in the middle. Of course, Irfan can do it, but when he drifts wide, who's there? Someone with a striker's mindset? Not Farooq, not on that occasion. It's not going to be Namte, it's not going to be Mandar, it's not going to be Jeetu, and it's not going to be Jeeteshwar. So that is something that Clifford Miranda will have to solve.
Can he solve that from the bench? Though we see number 51, Kingsley, warming up, and seems like he's going to be the first substitution that Chennaiyin will make in this game. Signed, remember, right before the Super Cup, making his debut for Chennaiyin FC. What do we know about him, Pula?
I've had some great games with Churchill. A very neat play in the middle of the park, as Nana has a bit of an issue in the right eye. And it's just turning back as well. Is it going to be solved? Might be mud in the eye. Unless it's a bite. Whatever it is quite irritating for Dinlana or any player on the pitch. Chennaiyin did lose the first game last season, 4-0 against Mumbai City. Lots of chances. They had to come back into that as well with Brambilla, Jordan Gill. Their attempts cleared off the line. It was closer than the scoreline suggests on that evening. Changte and Bipin both on the score sheet as well. Manveer. McLaren should be easy. It's always easy when it comes in like that towards him. And there was no way he was going to miss. A start and a stop in his run, and the way he does that, he knows exactly where it will fall. And when it falls to him like that, everyone else knows exactly where that will fall as well, into the back of the net. It's 2-0.
Quality Pula. McLaren, again, a first time finish. Decides he doesn't have to take a touch. And you really don't when you possess quality like that. But again, from Chennai's perspective, a cheap goal to concede. Cannot allow chances like that to fall to Jamie McLaren.
Just settles the nerves.
2 goals for McLaren in the IFF Shield and 2 already in the Super Cup.
Kingsley Fernandez on. Jitendra makes way for him.
What a time to come on for Kingsley. making his debut for Chennai, but in a bit of a tenuous position. Farooq puts his boot too high and the referee decides that that will be a foul.
So a little more than 20 minutes in this. Still no sign of Dimi Petratos from Mohun Bagan. And that is such a deep bench as well. That's the think tank. The likes of Robson Rubinho, that is also available. And they've got Kian Nasiri, who will look forward to playing against his former side.
Could it be a case of managing minutes, Pula? More games remaining in this group. Maybe Jose Molina deciding to save legs.
Mehtab's ball. And sits up so kindly. And the shot that came in, a stinging effort from Anirudh Thapa. Just took a touch, deflected out for a corner.
Thapa on his left. We know he can use both feet. Settled up well on the half volley for him. On the edge of the box and thrashed it low and hard, and by his expression, you can tell it would have been close. And now listen on the corner.
Liston takes, it's lofted and lofted out. The rain's pouring again. But in that little break from the rain gods, Mohun Bagan have made it 2-0, double their advantage.
Tommy Aldred is not happy over there with Liston. Put it in, Liston, he says. But then that's the very least you expect from a player taking a corner, don't you, Pula?
I don't want to see top spin applied on that. Just in swinging, helping attackers attack it, use the pace of the cross. Big header from Aldred again.
How many times have you done that in the game?
Immense, those two at centre back. Great start for McLaren as well. Into the tournament, strikers want to start cups or leagues or whatever it is with goals. He's got 2 already on a hat-trick.
He's playing in a great Mohun Bagan team as well, Pula. He knows he'll get the service. Said as much in an interview earlier that he was very, very happy with the quality he has around him at Mohun Bagan. And for someone who's an Australian international, having played in a World Cup before, you ought to take his word seriously.
So many outgoings as well for the Mariners, the likes of Ashik and Greg Stewart. Feel bad for Nuno Reis, who didn't get a lot of game time.
On the other hand, Pula, for Chennaiyin, he almost feels like what was the core of last season's ISL team has been ripped out. Wilmar, Edwin Sidney, Ryan Edwards, Connor Shields, Nasiri rejoining Mohun Bagan, Vinci Barreto and Owen Coyle all departing.
Also the captain, Ryan Edwards. And certainly they have big ambitions. Hear a lot after the next 10 days as we head into November and December. Understandable apprehension up until that point, but put out a very competitive team here.
That's the least that Chennai fans would expect of their team, Pula. They're a proud bunch. They've seen a lot of glory in the initial ISL years. Hasn't been that case in the last few. They still stick by their team.
As good fans must. Kingsley gives it away. Mandar. Namte. And then Lana. Out for a corner.
Important corner for Chennai, Pula. If they can get one back right now, just one back, with 15 minutes to go, be 2-1, and then it all becomes about the next goal. Whether that's scored by Mohun Bagan or Chennai, go a long way in determining what the result of this game will be.
Mandar takes, flew over Irfan. Easy this for Mehtab, but made a complete mess of it.
You can see now, Pula, below us, Jason Cummings, number 35, about to come on. Probably for Jamie McLaren, whose time on the pitch, if this is to be it, then has been a good one.
Manveer, he could chip Nawaz, he thought about it. Is he going to take a shot or not, Manveer? Shows Liston. It's back to Manveer, who is somehow suddenly shot shy. And, well, the moment's gone.
But Pula, Manveer seems to have made a bit of a hash of it, but remember, it all started with the energy shown by Sohail Ahmed Bhatt to win that ball and release it to Manveer Singh. Had the chance to chip it, but just took too much time.
Apuya takes it off Jiteshwar. Mohun Bagan looking for a third. Couple of changes coming up for Chennaiyin as well. Suhail's only touch takes it out. Time for all the changes to happen. Jamie McLaren will go off for Jason Cummings. Deepak Tangri also coming on for Thapa. And a couple of youngsters on for Chennaiyin. This is the second goal from McLaren.
McLaren showing that strike of instinct. Just being overrun by Vignesh. Couldn't intercept the ball. But a great outing for the Aussie, who's replaced now by another Aussie in Jason Cummings. And such is the power of the bench that Mohun Bagan have, that they can afford to bring McLaren off and bring someone of equal quality on in Cummings. And that'll go a long way in managing minutes in the legs. One of the favourites, Mohun Bagan, for the Super Cup. And they've played like it tonight.
Vivek and Raj Basfor have also come on for Chennaiyin. Vivek, who's just 20 from Kerala, plays a striker. Raj Basfor, of course, former Mohun Bagan player, has come searching for more game time.
Good to see by Clifford Miranda as well, Pula. Despite the score, he's willing to give these youngsters a chance.
And Namte's chance ballooned over once more. He'll be disappointed with that strike. Has better quality.
Now, if this is how the game is to end, Pula, wonder if Clifford Miranda will... He won't be happy with that, but wonder if he'll be happy with the effort that his team has put into this game. That's the least he can expect.
They have their moments. It's about not taking them. They're taking the first two chances. Then they're suddenly 2-0 up. edging towards the last 10 minutes then. A game that was quite open initially in the first half. Shut down by McLaren's second goal, it seems, unless Chennaiyin can really find a way back. Get a goal now in the next 5 odd minutes and the mood changes. Test Mohun Bagan's resolve. Clifford Miranda's first competitive game in charge. But you can see certain changes with the way they're moving.
And even the youngsters that have just come on, Pula, be expected to play without any fear. Play the national game as Vivek darts in.
Gives the foul away, but that's positive from the 20-year-old. 4 appearances in the Reliance Foundation Development League. Scored in the I-League 2 as well. Has 3 Durand Cup appearances. And has that spark which players have from Kerala. Chennaiyin take on East Bengal next. And that is 3 days later. An early fixture. That one's at Bamboli.
I'm liking the Goan accent, Pula. The Bamboli.
Manveer sets up Jason Cummings, but he could not score. How easy and quick was that from Mohun Bagan?
Should have been easy and quick for Jason Cummings as well, Pula. That's bread and butter for him. Ball came at a perfect angle. Tries to just roll it into the near post, and he knows he should have done better with that. And probably put the game to bed for Mohun Bagan.
Very hard to get past a midfield made of Apuya and Deepak Tangri. Jiteshwar. Kingsley. Nicely done. Namde plays it out wide for Mandar, who's offside.
That was well constructed by Chennaiyin, Pula. Saw some neat interchange over there. One touch, out wide. Pity he was offside.
Oh, that's close, isn't it? Looks like Subhashish is playing him on. Couple of decisions on this side of the pitch. Questionable.
Yeah, could have gone either way, that one. We saw one earlier this game, though.
That was Sahal.
That was black and white.
Toughest job, possibly tougher than being the main referee, is being on the line. Jiteshwar.
Oh, that's neat.
Kingsley. Wonderful exchange. Jiteshwar has been a delight to watch on the right side of midfield. It's much different to how he was used, more in the middle of the park, breaking up play. It's almost identified by Clifford Miranda that he's someone who can construct. Plays him on the right side of a 4-3-3. Mohun Bagan's next challenge on the 28th as well. Another evening fixture against Dempo.
Dempo getting a big result against Mohun Bagan's Kolkata rivals today. 2-2, remember? Took the lead against East Bengal.
What this does is, though, if it stays like this, is forces East Bengal to win the next one, to stay in contention. Mandar. Beautiful shape on that. No one's challenging Rodriguez, though. How has the centre-back gotten away with no challenges on him? And maybe these are the little tweaks that this Chennaiyin squad needs. A little more bravery, maybe.
Clifford, though, has the bare bones of a good, strong, tight unit. From what we can see so far in this performance, it's just about those final little flourishes and finishes, both on individual players and as a collective.
Just the starting point. Enough questions and talking points for you to quiz both the head coaches and Suresh after the game.
Yeah, you can say that Mohun Bagan, with a classic Mohun Bagan-like performance, taking their chances. In the first half, remember, they just had one chance, as opposed to the multiple that Chennaiyin had, but the one that they had made the difference.
Cummings on his stronger side, looking to curl that in. Nawaz well placed.
Catches it this time, Nawaz. And with Chennaiyin, though, questions more than answers.
A few answers, of course. Still too early to ask the tough questions, but clearly some signings, some more firepower required. And Jason Cummings is offside this time, and possibly also a partner for Pritham Kotal. Nothing against Dimpuya and his solidity. Maybe the presence of someone like Ryan Edwards, who they've let go, has to be replaced.
That one we can see. Marginally offside there, Jason Cummings. We can see more substitutions now for Chennaiyin.
Klusner coming on for Jiteshwar. Mandar also goes off for Mahesan.
Final salvo now for Chennaiyin. About 5 minutes of regulation time left in addition to extra time. Can they make this game a little interesting in the final moments?
Here's Vivek, bundle of energy. Mahesan moves it out wide. Slight change in formation, it seems. Mahesan is a midfielder. He's playing there as well. Mandar's gone off. Might be three at the back, who knows. But they'll be throwing everything at Mohun Bagan. That's what happens when you have so many players with a point to prove.
They've got the hunger puller. That's a good starting point. And now you have Klusner with his first touch of the ball.
It's a good delivery as well. Manveer had to rise at the near post. Sohail quickly into the path of Jason Cummings, who might want to knock it past Raj Basfor. Instead, he's found Liston. And Vishal Keth, pardon me, Nawaz comes out and makes a save. That was so quick. Jason Cummings with such great awareness about that particular move. Wonderfully done this.
Liston was completely empty over there, Pula, and not just in that last moment where you saw on broadcast, but you could see from the far end of the pitch, Liston was constantly asking for the ball, making that run, and had Cummings just spotted him a little earlier, might have been 3-0 to Mohun Bagan.
They've been searching for it, looking for it. Manveer's had a couple of goals as well. Liston's had a chance created by Manveer. And here he is again, just trying to walk it past that back line. Little helter-skelter, this ending. Mehtab and Puya. Sohail out for a corner. It's very patient in the way Mohun Bagan have dealt with the second half. Very assured in knowing that they will have the chances. Cummings, great delivery, cleared away by Pritham Kotal, who's urging the team to push up. Cummings. And now Deepak. Not Subhashish to his left. Subhashish was hoping for a run from Liston. That didn't come. Namte. Apuya. Suhail. Apuya with a little bit of space, wanting the 1-2. Suhail was waiting on the right. Cleverly done. Here's Mahison, stopped by Apuya. Rodriguez goes long. Caught well by Nawaz. Four minutes added on. Mohun Bagan fans, smiles on their faces again. Fresh from the derby win, also possibly looking forward to the other derby. Last day of the Group A fixtures. Yeah, if the Red and Golds win their next game, then sets the Super Cup wonderfully up for what could be a derby decider as to who goes into the semi-finals. Rodriguez. Aldred. Liston. Myson got the better of him. He clipped over the top looking for Farouk. Smashed away. Job almost done for Mohun Bagan super giant. And Deepak's come and done the job of a destroyer to perfection. So well settled, this squad now in its depth, in its roles and positions. Nothing to figure out. A good delivery from Clues. I wonder if he looked to test Keth. A lot of depth in that. Too much, in fact. And then Puya's far post one came to nothing with Namte's delivery. Has to do better. Of course, tired legs. Chennaiyin with not a lot of football over the last few months. This is just the beginning for them. Bagan Super Giant have had way more, especially with the IFA Shield, that one fixture that they had in continental competition as well. Namte. Quickly played forward for Manveer. Out comes Nawaz, and on time. Just trying to poke it past him. Got it right this time, Nawaz. Apuya. Wasted. In towards Cummings. Kotal clears. Apuya once more. He has some space for a shot on his left side, and then off target. Well, within his right to take that hit. Molina offers a bit of a smile as he uses his supposed weaker side for that attempt. Probably will see the positives in that. Manveer also well within his rights to be disappointed that he didn't pick him out. Full time then at the Fatora. Mohun Bagan Super Giant win 2-0. A confident performance. Manveer set one up, Liston the other, and both of them scored by Jamie McLaren. And Jason Cummings came on later and almost had one for himself and created some more. And Mohun Bagan in the end were assured in their performance, dominant in the second half. And the first one was quite something. Molina must have had a bit of a headache with what Clifford Miranda was trying, but once the deadlock was broken, Mohun Bagan were just so sure that they would win this. Liston Kulasa putting in a fantastic 90-minute shift. Very entertaining. A wonderful backheel assist as well. And Tom Aldred and Alberto Rodriguez were massive pillars at the back as they keep a clean sheet. And Chennaiyin might argue that if they took their chances, they would have something to say about this one. But Clifford Miranda's first game in charge ends in a defeat for them, as Mohun Bagan Super Giant opened their Super Cup 25-26 campaign with a 2-0 win over Chennaiyin.